Yeah, good morning everybody. Dr. Jason W. Morrison, Theologist, New South Wales, Australia. Just a quick one. Want to play Kimmy's video first, and then I'll get into some dramatic scenes down at the waterfront today with the New South Wales, Central Coast, New South Wales Jehovah Witnesses. Had some unusual dramatic scenes, and it's based on Kimmy. She's had this video out and I really enjoyed it. I just want to play it for you. I'll get this out of the way. Just a little snippet of it so you get the details. I've never seen here on the Central Coast, New South Wales, the Jehovah Witnesses pack up and leave. They packed up and left. I've seen it on YouTube. I've seen it all over the world on YouTube, but this is a first for me here in the Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia, and I will be ringing the Kingdom Hall.
Coronavirus letter and suspension of activities. Now this letter was in Italian, and so is this website, so I am going to put the link down below. It was expected and it has arrived. The letter that is read at the midweek meetings this week and the next, for those who had not made time for shift matters, in which has as its object coronavirus epidemic, and it's dated February 19th. At the bottom you will find the link to the letter. At the same time, all spiritual activities, congregation meetings, field service groups, meetings between brothers in the province of Palencia were suspended. The city of Codogno has been quarantined. 20 infected people have been found in Italy at the moment. We will update you on any developments that will affect how the situation will be addressed in the congregations of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Just want to say at this point, 50% of Rome is in quarantine lockdown at this stage. Now, I'm not trying to cause a panic about the virus. That's not my point. But this is what the headquarters is sending out to Jehovah Witness congregations. Now, the Australian people have obviously got no clue of this. You've got no idea what happened down here this morning. I'll come back.
And that made us think, because Mike and I were talking about this. What if these Jehovah's Witnesses, now we've all heard in the news how the Chinese woman, I believe she was, went to visit Hunan. And she came back home, didn't even know she had the coronavirus, and went to her Church of Christ and infected everybody. And now they're all having to be quarantined. And this is how easy plagues spread. Especially now in the modern society where, air travel, you're there in a few hours. This is how this gets spread from country to country. Just go look at history. The Spanish influenza that started in 1917. The Justinian plague. I think that was about the 600 AD, thereabouts, if I remember right. There was an Athenian plague. Oh my goodness, the Black Death in Europe in the Dark Ages. They say like a third of the world's population. And they didn't even have rapid travel back then. So can you imagine how a plague would just decimate this planet?
Now, the world expert on this disease was on 60 Minutes last night here in Australia. The world expert, brilliant man. He's saying and again, I'm not trying to cause a panic, but his figures are, if this goes out of control and we don't take it seriously, 45 to 60 million people could be taken out by this disease. It's not a laughing matter.
But think about that. What if a Jehovah's Witness has been infected and they don't know it? Because see, it can take up to 21 days before you even know or it even shows up. 21 days. That's 3 weeks.
Now, this goes for all Christians and groups that meet together and all this sort of thing, but the focus here at the moment is the J-Dubs, of course.
So what if a Jehovah Witness, goes to like Cancun, where, some of these that are infected, or what if someone was on one of these cruise ships and they go back to the congregation. You can see why, Watchtower is a little bit nervous, because someone could be infected and then they're going door to door or out in their literature carts to the public. I mean, you've got typhoid Mary all over again. My goodness. Now I'm also going to put a link down below to Nigel Rowley.
Now pull up Kimmy there. Thanks, Kimmy, for that. Subscribe to Kim and Mikey's channel if you haven't already, and ring the bell so you get all the notifications. So I'll reduce that now, and I'll reduce that, don't know what that is, and I'll come in here. So this morning I'm down exercising. Haven't been down there for a while. Staying away from the Jehovah Witnesses, to be honest. They are a nuisance. Anyway, come up to the Jehovah Witnesses and I said, have you had any correspondence from the elders on COVID-19? And I said, because when you do, you may not be out here for a while. And they've just gone, oh yeah. So I rode up the other end of the path and come back and I said, don't you want to know why I mentioned that? Well, one of the ladies, she's just gone, we don't want to talk to you. I said, well, what are you doing out here then? You're in the public, you're in my community, you're representing jw.org, and you're being rude to me? I've gone, no, that's not how this works, lady. You are here to share the message of Christ, aren't you? Well, to the surprise of the other lady, she picked up, she did the cart pack up. You see them on YouTube all the time running. I've never seen this before. This woman was furious. And she packed up the cart. The other lady was trying to stop her because she was embarrassed, and off she went. Now, the woman that done this is an elder's wife. I know their names and I know who they are. And I said to him, this isn't how Christianity works. This isn't in the spirit of Christ. What's happening here? Like, what's the problem? I said, I haven't been rude to you. I haven't been... The pressure that these people are under is just enormous. I mean, this woman basically had a evangelistic breakdown and nothing had even happened. And I said, well, I know Pat, who's the elder, and I said, I'm going to ring Pat up and tell him how you've behaved here this morning, and they were petrified. So you've got one woman that's chucked the towel in and she just can't cope. She's got no coping mechanisms whatsoever. She shouldn't be out there because she's a menace to the community. And the other woman was completely embarrassed and humiliated. I never thought I'd see here on the Central Coast, New South Wales, the Jehovah Witnesses pack up their carts in total breakdown and embarrassment. A Jehovah Witness elder's wife has packed up a cart in embarrassment to the other woman that was with her and fled the waterfront in Gosford, New South Wales, with an attitude that you would not expect a drug addict or an alcoholic to have. And I was in disarray. So I'm letting you know from New South Wales, Australia, that these people are under such indoctrination and pressure to sell jw.org. They don't know how to share the Bible. They've got no clue. They've got no resilience or characteristical capabilities to talk about the Bible, so I don't worry about that anymore. But I was going to say to them, well, headquarters has sent a letter out to Rome, and I'm guessing that it'll start circulating in our countries. Never had a chance. Never had a chance. So they're very rude, these Jehovah Witnesses underneath. They really don't want to do what they're doing. They really don't want to mix with the community. They're awkward. They're under tremendous pressure. I guess there's a subconscious awareness that there's something just not right in the organisation that they're in, and they're standing out there advertising something that they don't really believe in. I wish I had this on film. I'm sorry that I don't, but it was exactly like you see on YouTube. The cover came up, it went over the cart, she went storming off. The other lady was actually trying to hold her back, going, don't do this, but she went. So from New South Wales, Australia, we've had a massive breakdown on the waterfront at Gosford for no legitimate reason whatsoever, except obvious signs of deep psychological trouble within the character of this particular lady. She's always been a problem. She's always been rude. She asked me to leave the waterfront once, and I said, the police will be here in 5 minutes if that's really your attitude. You've got no right to tell anybody to leave a public area. She's an American lady. Just got a really troubled persona. Anyway, this is Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist, New South Wales, Australia. Bye for now.